French or American?
I am French, yes. Thank you for asking.
You lived in the States for a while.
I spent some time there, but I just like the States, so I spend as much time.
You don't have any, you have no discernible accent.
Yeah,
very good.
Well, I'm doing my best. It's a kind of premiere now because it's a TV movie.
Right.
It's a TV movie. What does that mean, you think? Is that striking?
Well, we didn't make it, it's the seventh thing that I've done with Steven, and we didn't make it any differently than we made the other ones that came out in theaters. And this is going to be a theatrical release in Europe and in the rest of the world. So, we never thought of it as a TV movie.
No.
It's just kind of more the way the business has gone. Which doesn't affect our process at all.
No.
We're still doing the same thing. It's just the distribution channels are a little different than they were 10 years ago.
But what does that say about Hollywood and maybe they didn't think the audience would be enough? I mean, is that because it's gay?
It was a tough call. To be fair, I just saw Harvey Weinstein, my friend, and somebody who had played a huge role in my life and my career, and walking through the numbers with him. I mean, it's a hard, it's over $20 million, and then you're going to have to support it with at least that, to try to put the movie out. Ultimately, you're going to have to make something like $70 million just to, theatrically in the U.S. just to try to get out, and it's like, or worldwide even, but it's that's. If anything goes wrong, then you're stuck a lot of money, and it was a tough call for them. I mean, it wasn't. These are all people that we know and that we work with all the time. All these studios, I've worked at all of them. I'm friends with, these executives. I know them. It was a tough call, which to me says less about them and more about the marketplace and movies in general.
Right.
It's a tough investment a lot of the time.
Yeah, I know. Well, about Soderbergh, you've been doing many movies with him. It could be his last movie. We don't really know. First of all,
I'm working on him. Yeah.
Okay, are you? That's what I wanted to know.
I've been for years. No, you don't want to retire. I mean, and he can't. He can't honestly. For 25 years, he's not stopped working, and he's never done the same movie. He could have done Aaron Brockovich or Traffic. He could have done those movies over and over in different iterations of those movies and been the most successful guy around, and he just never, once he did it, he'd done, and he was just completely interested in form, and he would push himself in another direction, and he has, and as a result, there's nobody on earth who's done more different films than Steven and understands more about directing everything than Steven. I don't believe there's anybody on earth who, people have their niche, their thing that they can do, but nobody has done all of it the way Steven has, which is great.
He can't stop.
Yeah, so it would be such a waste for him. It'd be a waste if he stopped.
One question about, one and two, about Michael Douglas. He was very moving this morning, so I just want for fun to know how it's like to be in with him, and then wasn't it kind of moving because we know there's a certain scene, we know that he has AIDS, and that scene must be, kind of awkward, or?
Yeah, it was, nobody said anything when we shot that scene of Liberace when he was dying of AIDS, and Michael, Michael walked into the room and he laid down in the bed, and it was the same room that Liberace was actually in. And, sometimes when you come to the set, for me, that was very late in the schedule. Michael and I are friends. You kind of bullshit with each other, and it was just one of those things when you see an actor locked in like that, and you just don't. And I just sat next to him, and he just lifted that whole scene. He just did it, and we didn't talk about it. He just did it. And I think Steven did 2 takes, and I think we had it in the first take, but Steven gave him another one because he had transported himself to this place, and that was it. And that's just, if I were to speculate, I would say that's, the wisdom, the hard-earned wisdom of beating a disease like he did. Whether he wants it or not, he has that wisdom, and he couldn't keep it out of his performance if he tried. It's just part of him now, and it's why that scene is so effective.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thanks.